Hey everybody, today I'm going to be making some homemade granola. My neighbor called me and she loves whenever I cook for her every now and then, especially whenever it's sweet stuff. So she asked me if I would make her some homemade granola, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm over here visiting her and I'm going to make her up a batch. So the ingredients that you're going to need are Quaker oats, old-fashioned oats, some sliced almonds, some walnuts, some vanilla extract, some ground cinnamon, vegetable oil, honey, a little bit of salt, some brown sugar, and some mixed dried fruits. These are what she has on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. Blueberry cranberry blend. It looks like it has a little bit of papaya, cashews, blueberries, mango, almonds, cranberries. So yeah, we're gonna mix this up here in a second and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, now the first thing that you're gonna want to put in the bowl is 4 cups of these old-fashioned rolled oats. Then we're going to add 2 cups of these almonds here. Okay, then you're going to want to add 2 cups of sliced almonds. Alrighty, now we're going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Next we're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. And then we're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Okay, next we're going to add 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. You can actually use coconut oil for this if you would prefer it to be a healthier recipe. Okay, then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of honey, and if you use the same measuring cup that you just used the vegetable oil in, if you pour your honey in that measuring cup right after you use the vegetable oil, the oil will help the honey slide right out of the measuring cup, so it's a lot easier to get it out of there. Just a little tip. Okay, then we're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And actually, if you take the honey, the oil, and the vanilla extract and the cinnamon and mix it in a separate little bowl and then pour it all over the granola, it actually makes it a little easier to mix everything in together. But I just went on ahead and added it all to the granola. And now we're going to give it a stir. Okay, I'm going to give it a stir now. Get this real good and mixed up. It might take just a little while to get it all thoroughly mixed. And you want to wait and add your dried fruit after you've cooked it for about at least 30 minutes, because otherwise the dried fruit is going to burn. And also you want to stir this about every 10 minutes while it's in the oven so that it cooks evenly and it doesn't burn. And you're going to cook it in a 300-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how crunchy you like it. And after you get it out of the oven, it'll be pretty soft, but once it cools off, it'll be really hard, which I'll show you whenever I get to that point. And then next I have this large, I believe it's her pizza pan, but it's really big, so this will give us a lot of room to cook the granola on. And I like to lay a piece of parchment paper down on here to keep the granola from sticking once you get it on the pan. You're going to want to spread the granola out as evenly as you can on the whole size of the pan. Here I have it on my round pan with the parchment paper underneath, on top, underneath the granola. Sorry I'm having to cut from shot to shot individually, but like I said, I'm holding the camera while I'm doing this because I don't have a tripod over here. So anyway, you want to flatten out the granola all around the pan. Get it as flat as you can. Spread out as evenly as you can. And you can use any kind of flat baking sheet to cook this on. She just happened to have this humongous pizza pan, so that's what I'm using. And you don't have to use the parchment paper underneath. I just put it on there to make it a little easier for the granola to come off the pan afterwards. But yeah, once you get it all flattened down on your pan, just stick it in a 300-degree oven for about 30 minutes, and then you can pull it out and add your mixed dried fruit. And if you don't like mixed dried fruit in it, you don't even have to put that in there. But once you add that, you can cook it for about 10 more minutes if you want it a little crispier. And I'll show you that whenever I get it out of the oven. And also, one other thing I think I already mentioned, but just in case, if you want your granola to be all one piece and you just, crunch it up afterwards into big chunky pieces, then you're going to want to let it cool. And then after you take it out of the oven, let it cool, and then just break it up into whatever size pieces you want. And if you want it to be just all the pieces separated and not clumped together, then you're going to want to stir the granola on the pan every 10 minutes while it's cooking, and that way it doesn't all clump up together. But if you do want it to clump up together like the big chunks of granola, then just let it cook the whole 30 to 40 minutes. And then once it comes out of the oven, you can break it up into those chunks, and once it cools, it'll be a little bit harder. I just pulled it out of the oven after 30 minutes. It's still really soft, as you can see. I'm gonna sprinkle on my dried fruits. And it only takes about maybe a cup. It just depends on how many you want in there, really. It just depends on your taste. And you want to mix them in there, stir it up again, and pop it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. Okay, so here we have it after about 40 minutes total. And as you can see, it's still, I'm wanting it to be the hard and big chunky kind, so I'm going to let it sit here and cool, so that whenever it cools down, I can break it into pieces. And once it cools down, I'll show you that too. But yeah, this is just like if you wanted to keep it this way now, just let it cool down and then break it in pieces. Or if you want it to be in small pieces, little bitty pieces, then just crumble it up and store it in like a large glass jar with a lid, or a Tupperware bowl with a lid on it. Anyway, I'll come back and show you after it's cooled and after I break it up. Okay, so I have let it cool down now for about 20 minutes. And as you can see, it's really hard. Like, you can pick it up and break it up into chunks. Like that. Okay, here I've broken it up into pretty large chunks, as you can see. And I'm just going to take it and start putting it in this Tupperware bowl that she has here. And you just want to store it in a cool, dry place with the lid on, of course. And this lasts for weeks. but I don't think it'll last for weeks because it turns out to be so good. I think it'll get eaten up before too long. And then here we have the finished product in the Tupperware, ready to seal up and store or open up and eat. And see, you can tell that there's some big chunks and little chunks and plenty different sizes for each individual person, whichever kind they like. You can even take it and crumble it up into some cereal if you'd like, because it crumbles up pretty easy still. So it's just up to you how you want to do it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'm actually maybe gonna start making a few more cooking videos if anybody's interested. And Jeff's gonna get me a tripod so I can start filming and cooking with both hands. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you all for watching. And leave me a like and a comment if you'd like to. I appreciate it. Y'all take care. Bye.